Ladies and gentlemen, gang and Mcebisi, welcome to Under the Influence podcast, where I get to chop it up with some of the country's dopest lyricists. And today, I have the distinct honor of sitting with two gentlemen that are from the same location, same womb.
Talk about it.
Now I'm saying the most incredible lyricists that I've ever had the honor of working with and also having on this little platform that I started, Sningning. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the incredible, the extraordinary, and you gotta say it twice, the incredible, extraordinary, leverage. Now I've said, but before we kick it off, gentlemen, there's a duo that I'd like to show you guys, and yeah, just let me know if you guys are feeling them, if there's a grandy,
somewhat decent.
Nah, I mean, let's get it. Let's get it cool.
Yeah. Hey, leverage.
Yes, sir. You can rap along if you remember the lyrics. You know?
EP on the way.
Feel free.
Remember nothing. Sauce. Na SPeeKa hit us up, but andlulenga la. I guess pulela masho kabi kade besibhuqa ngenamba sensulelwa manje. Mami gang, you ain't doing enough. You throw back at hand was gani leverage ugunji namasi. Ela put la buti snapdela go. It could be the season to blow go manje jengnet dela go for ants. Got hoteli cherry yako ngena be snacks. Price possession link hleli njob yako ngena nel panty. I'm that easy win. Nigga don't fuck 'em too hard. Nigga an opening act of a motion picture that is. Nigga the cipher. Slow and steady, pace yourself, dummy. Or we might join that marathon and give you a run for your money. I'm in semi-form, so half a beast, your festive tone. It's Anguya L, you run and you sidestep a stepping stone. Foolish, I'm better than better for money. I'm cut above the rest with Fufusa. Ngithempela mafugani man. Anjama bungi insizwa ezalwa zaduba imbiza eqhuthukela. Sabiki ibuzi nembibi yathi ufika kwakhanze itsizwa yasindwa zafa ngamfunya nje insizwa ayiguqukela. Ingabhoboka endawo yavuza imphumela. Yendlela ekufeni ithabuthula thuli yasiqhele equlwini kwalungu. Sibona imakwabi into emnyama enabe enqunweni. Thingagewula ilawula. Qima ikhanda zilamu ngana iphelelanga Fusnova zithi mzala zithi malu zogcwala inhlabathi ziba zonke yofika konke abona umjaha slow and steady ngendlala yoziba yonke bulala umzonke manophu phela emnyawo umndeni lefa lonke nemshado and you look the other way ngathi umgwaqo sins of the father often visit the son the shadows your empty hollow heart and game city under belly for football or something sinister treat the product ring your neck like a doorbell you seem to belly be keen you ready you were perfect but you impatient so you peak too early take that in cause I'm on your digits and just only skill. Pela got ten hints in this gap, no lim look reality. See, I'm a preconceived notion of what you consider stand out, stand down, this an elite club, there's no handout. See, big Philip Shanghai. No Mcebisi Sithole, your squad's nice, but we'll pull up Nancy's big get to shaman. I mean, gods damn it, that movie right in the nick of time. We leave you in the gambit of emotions. I'm with bandits, they be coasting, they crazy train, I'm a delago. Daily need no coaching, bars are claws mixed with beauty. I'm dandy that is potent, lighten up. It took a decade to achieve. This is my accent, white enough for sure. Take it to the beach as bars are home runs. I'm Babe Ruth or Sammy Sosa. So my next girlfriend it look like Sammy Sosa. Multitude of Swiss Army knives, potential I let sit there, fairly stagnant.
I remember nothing.
I have a distinct palette of skill abandoned.
Remember nothing.
Nothing. Narrative, but add to my upliftment. A straight disservice to self is somewhat confined to Ugnetezek. But so much more if you could just fine tune in there like your ones. I do admit I casually undercut myself knowing when I get it, had some shit to say, but we vogue and heart that I display despite to that's quickly stomached when I think about the things that mama incurred in saying that you didn't deter. Turn the boys determined, had some shit to say. Quite sold that kept their family firm. No, we yell and jalo, again I'm cold, give love in times of disarray. Strong woman, hoping I meet 1/2 the woman that you are and don't kick her to the curb on some.
Since you a ball of wisdom, now pray tell how I pay attention when you can't sell. I've witnessed the devil's upbringing up close. My gang cut through the sounds basically from a city that raised hell. You get showing and sang I get you the showing and honey's in this color this pet so I feel get okay may I decode nemesis boss mediocre at best. To be frank, I'm not phased of what's behind enemy lines. Astonished state out you slow man. I go be snai 14 she's a smart and you so
days nesak boom ukuthi asimhloniphe uzulu how I'm calling niggas and to a reap a legacy forever guarding niggas. I've got that too, I mean I'm mandate a stand out that ANC clearly that they should probably stand out, but I've seen brothers full of malice chuck their hand out for handouts. They reach we book, see how that pans out. Low level entries are pop bars, kings linger around here. Yeah, patient and precise.
Now what it then became, wow.
Wow. Leaders around here. The fanny packet took some anyala. So we were fun, cool with the trend. Y'all can trailblaze with the jiggy shit. It dancer for dividends.
It's a wild life. It dancer for dividends. It's a wild thing to say.
Grace disintegrate to non-pala fighting for to mkele and getting a pit. Nonsense, it was on Shlaba said 1 or 2 yelling chagas designs. Simply so perfect peak shape with the purpose seamlessly packaged, immersed in what could be murky, merciless. We determined she turned turbulent in a jiff once it opened. Since dedicated black man. Executed precision, not the typical stunted body physique, that's a shorthand.
Alright. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Overall lines, dope. Overall lines are dope.
Overall is fire, innit?
Cadence could have been way better, but you know.
Welcome. This is a classic, a definite fan favorite. You know, every time I do like, you know, these little polls, like, what are some of your favorite Sotra Cyphers episodes? I saw him, father.
Hey man,
you know,
we're blessed.
So yeah, man, to kick it off.
We're blessed.
Gentlemen, a young introduction. Who y'all be? Where y'all from? What do you do?
I'm a Kotuga, Leverage twins over there. We hail from Beckville, KZN. Sizinze Orange Farm. Siyaqelaza nje sina siyarap.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yes.
Clean. Bafu ichaze yonke yabona nje ngabe nginomona kahle hle mangabe uthi ngifuna uku-add nje okunye so
sure. Alright, fresh. The first time I was introduced to Leverage, it was at launch ga
that is a crazy time,
right? Indaba Yam
EP, yeah.
Out in Orange Farm, I remember. That was like before then, Mengankavi.
Yeah.
So I'm there, you know, at the event, enjoying the show. Hey, these two niggas that look exactly like jump on stage, dog. I was
come
like,
come on.
And I've literally, dog, been fascinated since day one. It's like
crazy, bro.
How can? Because me, speaking for myself, right? I have a younger sibling. I tried to turn my sister into a hip hop head.
Come on.
I tried.
Come on.
I tried play hip hop every day. Hopefully, with one day it'd be like some sort of beat making duo or something.
Just never worked out.
Budged.
She
never budged. So every time I see like brothers or just siblings that are both like artists or like musicians, I always have that little jealous like. Must be nice, yo.
Wait, so you need to let people do what they want.
I guess. You know, I want hip hop, man. It's not that I like me. So I want to know from you guys, like, when did you both discover how musically? I think we're on the same page.
So we didn't. That's the funny part.
Yeah,
like, we didn't. I used to just do poetry.
Yeah.
Hangi Shaila mini poet is I'm weak and regala. And then that level, bro.
Sure.
Trust me, slam, going crazy. And then my brother Zandile was deep into hip hop before.
Yeah.
I mean, we listened to hip hop sobabili, but I used to write, but predominantly like just, you know, poetry.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I can't tell just in terms of timelines where I'm like, okay, maybe let me just hoy. Yeah, but you know, yeah. But I think the actual discovery of it is so crazy because I think angazi ukuthi sasibangaki but sasinangaki I mean, but it was through our cousins. Yabona le nto because thina ke vele sasiyithandela umaskandi.
Yes.
Predating hip hop. See. Kubukela nje ngomaskandi ngobaba vele ushayela ama taxi so umaskandi vele into edlalwa endlini yabo. We go to eBrakpan to our cousin's place, Usimpiano Jr. Shout out Simpiano Jr. And they play this record, man. You know, they used to be into old school hip hop. I don't know if they played Black Star but there was a record that they played.
Yeah.
Like, and then
what is this?
Like bafana manje siyandodisa manje. This is hip hop. you know, and they basically put us on, you know, and since then, they actually took us to our first Back to the City, by the way.
Oh, really?
Like more than 10 years ago. You know, the first festival that we ever attended was it Back to the City, which is why we have never missed it Back to the City, because we're like, wow.
Relatable content.
You know, so these guys put us on, and after that, you know, you then obviously go into the rabbit hole, and you're like, wow. Okay, labantu beshaya kanje, okay, ihlukahlukile futhi obanika bayenzayo la eSouth Africa. And then, you know, you meet the, come on, I don't even need to speak about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that I think what I love most about South African MCs is that thing that you said, Tina,
Sure.
If you speak to like an American MC, they'll tell you, yeah, you know, it's bumping, you know, cool G rap.
Sure.
It's always like hip hop. Whereas with us, it's Maskandi, there's
Kwaito,
there's gospel,
soul music,
you know, and you finding your own voice in hip hop is always fascinating to me. But before we get to the hip hop side of things, I'm still fascinated about the Maskandi level. Like
the Maskandi level.
Who are you guys listening to?
Trust.
Who are your codes in the Maskandi level, man?
The Maskandi level. So we started from the bottom, right? The ancestors. So our dad put us on unomjita kuthiwa umjita. Ubaba kuthiwa yes. Umhlonishwa kuthiwa uthwala ufuna mankenjana, right? Kunophuzo shukela. These are like, you know, when you speak about the ancestors of Maskandi, he first put us on those people. Is like, if you're going to listen to Maskandi, you need to listen to these guys first.
Yeah.
You're like, these cats, you know, right? And then because like early on, like early 2000s, right? Ubab Big Muzzle Tuli, Ubab Hasheli Mhlophe, Ubab Mthokozisi. Then towards the mid 2000s, Umgqumeni, Umtshengiseni, those were like, still cooler also there. So we could, you know, you're like, okay. So both those cats, you know, Umgqumeni, you know, and probably the biggest. Even if you listen to the climate of even Maskandi right now, like Umgqumeni, you know, all the guys that you would think of, the approach up. It's not it's difficult to shayishan this yo Hasheli Mhlophe no me Big Muzi, but Umgqumeni is like that. You know, so these are the guys for us. You know, that were like, you know, crazy. Yeah, as far as that, we could go all day, man. But I think Ubafu Babalile, you know, obviously honorable mention Umfazi Omnyama. Crazy, you know, and we'll get to that on just how, you know, he then went on to influence us. But that's basically the music that we were listening to at the time. And because we were sasi bancane, so saslala pano Qmashale ewanras, yabo. So masi la perenkeni ke badlala wona uMaskandi. So noma ngabe liphi CD ilanga eliphuma ngalo. Trust, we know. Yabo, so it really goes deep. We listen to uMaskandi till this day, right? Even today we could tell you, you know, okay, law but you know, there's politics. So you know, we're not really trying to get into that. Yeah.
Nah, I hear you. So sharp, Maskandi, injera neqiniso to you guys.
For sure.
When does it happen? Or rather, who are the first few artists? Because you touched on maybe Black Star a little bit, but starting ngai Mzansi. Who are some of the artists that you first heard and you were like,
Okay. So, Junior and Simpe, which is our cousins, put us on to Black Star, Pharaoh Monk. There was a joint called the Simon Says, crazy joint, by the way. So, you know, and then obviously you try to find something closer to home. And then you're like, okay, ubani go pabazai, right? At the time. And this is quite late because we get into it in like 2008, 2007, right? Which is late because, you know, the guys are already out. You know, Squatter Camp is already doing their thing, right? So obviously we come across them, we're like, okay, these guys are crazy. Tia Guess is also doing their thing also. We're like, okay, these guys are crazy. But I think the introduction of Upro was so crazy because when we first come across them, and you've got to understand our approach to this thing. Because Tina Slailu Maskandi, this is an individual that raps in predominantly a Kasirap. He's got the Kasirap approach.
Sure.
So he's got the lingo and Tsotsitalo, which we don't have till this day. Yabo. And we're listening to this guy weave these words and we're like, what in the hell is Yabo? And that is crazy.
Yeah.
You know? So Upro is like literally the first guy that we are amazed by. We're like, okay. Yabola Elukshini. If by that time you would have asked us who we thought was the leader, without a doubt would have told you. Yabona lianka asmazi khona la singiyamuzwa khona cause yabona uyashaya itsotsi but laphabaza lo amchita.
Yeah, and for the most part, even with the pro, so similar to your Black Star, because size is bangman, right? You're not really fascinated, but why but what they in the abayisho kahle kids slow. In the abayisho, right? It's technique, right? How they say it. Because you'd heard like your Mr. Salvins, your Amus, your squatters, right? There's a level. You can tell when a person, you're like, okay, this guy is like born with this thing, right? It's so natural, right? And then the fact that he has language just amplifies that entire thing. So Pro is the first guy that we're like, okay, this man is incredible, right? And then we come across someone that really influences now the texture now of how we rap, right? And Zulu Boy. Now, with the Zulu Boy, it's interesting, right? Because the only reason why we even come across a Zulu Boy because he has a song, I think I'm not sure. But Big Moose. I'm forgetting, but it's one of those two guys, right? I just know that because Bakulu Maskandi, so like I said, we listen to Maskandi, so anything that is Maskandi, we're like, and then we find this cat, I'm like, yo, so you mean to tell me there's a guy that can mix this thing that now we like, called hip hop, Nomaskandi.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then, that changes also because with the Zulu Boy also, like linguistically, he's so us, right? So it changes how we just look at, hip hop entirely. Like, okay, now the new GOAT is this man.
Yeah.
Predominantly also, I think, because why fuck Maskandi? I think, but yeah, he really changes how we look at the the entire thing.
So that's when like you first get put on to South African rap, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously to this day you can pick up like hints of Imaskani throughout
of course, yeah.
And the Zulu Boy influence, obviously we can pick it up.
Yeah.
But as time moves and yabonage the SA hip hop scene, many would say 2013 to 2016, that's like the golden era. For me personally, because, I'm what most would consider a bit of an old head. So for me, that's 2005, 2007. That's my golden era personally.
Yeah.
2003, 2007, that's my golden era. But generally, it's considered
the
2013, the golden era.
You think it's because of the commercial commercial viability,
yes.
The fact that it became, a way for people to make money.
Definitely. The first time was 2003, 2007, and then the peak game
it boomed,
was when I will Casper, Omega.
Okay, no, I can respect that.
Yeah, so during that time, who were you guys then identifying in the game? Muti, man, Laba, Sharp, maybe like I'm a man a bit, Mara. These are our peers that we're trying to chase something similar to what these guys are doing. So you can basically tell that they were influenced by the same people that you were influenced by.
Oh, so like I'd advise, right? Zulu Boy, right? Zulu Boy doesn't quite take off, right? Like that, right?
Yeah.
And then we come across Umasha Botre, right? Umasha Botre now is another level because now with Umasha Botre is a guy, right? And we don't listen to like Tina, shout out to the Shambe people, right? But he's one guy that he's so ambidextrous in a sense that angaz no muya rap no muya cool, right? But there's no borders, right? Yeah. And Tina, we had always thought also Ipimbo. I'm like, damn, you have
a specific way of how a person is supposed to sing, right?
Yeah.
Mashapuku breaks all those things, right? So that's the first guy that we now are like, yo, right? And then there's Mega, right?
Yeah.
Which is, Victory Lap is probably, I don't know, man.
That was a moment.
Victory Lap, Alter Ego, that first album.
Yes.
Like, AKA, right? And funny enough, right? It's AKA, it's Schoolie, it's Double HP, right? And we love those people also just because they are off the, like, how musical they are, right? It's your Tear Gas, right? I'm a crowd man. Then from 2013, man. Yo, I got a brand new addiction. Studio smelling like my grandmama's kitchen. Yo.
Yes.
Crazy. And the funny thing about Umashaya Book is that the first time we come across him is he's doing a performance on there was a show called The Shift on one of these broadcasting channels, right? He's got Iskumba Sengwe on the mic stand, right? And I think why is all performer one of these songs, either for me Black Excellence Show or maybe some of the songs that predate that project, and we're like, wow, sonically he then opens us up to say pause to a lot of things, because now we are okay, siyambona ke lo mjita, there are no really ama-boundaries wakhona, yabo. And then ubafu bese thintile about these other people that come into the play, but someone that is like very close to what we are doing at the time that then takes off completely, well, at least in the KZN space, is Uzagwe. Uzagwe. The debut album, self-titled Zagwe, is a crazy debut. Yes. It's my favorite debut of all time. Because what he does and how he stretches thematically, because there's ways in which people digest an album, right? So when you look at the cohesiveness of a project, the actual project, it's man, so when he then comes into the fold, we are like, wow. The flow also from that first album is absolutely insane. There's this bar about Imakarena that he does, I think on Live I was like, but I think he then has a biggest influence, and the dopest part is around 2013 he then collaborates with one of our very close collaborators, Anzo, on a song which completely blows our mind. We're like, it's close. Siyabona indlela manje.
Yo, Uzawe, around at that time, around about the time he was about to drop his debut album, I was first put on to Uzagwe by my homie Uchaka the Great, right?
Yeah. Shout out.
There was this mixtape, 031 mixtape, and he had a joint. There was Chaka brings it up. He's like, listen to this, nigga. He's like, this is what's happening in KZN.
Come on,
right? And then Shapo, and then we hear Pogu Pogu Tino, Ntanga, Native. I remember sending him, I got hold of his email address. And I sent him a bunch of beats. And I was
like, hop on these.
I heard you working on your album, so, check these out and let me know. And at the time, I was sending out beats to
everybody.
And the only one who actually responded to my email
was him.
Zab.
That is crazy.
I'll never forget that, right? And Nakona, he didn't go, these are dope, I'm going to use this one. He just said, I Fanata, I like the beats. My favorite one is that other one. He never used it, but he just said,
which is crazy.
And that meant the world to me, brother. That meant the world, because the thing I'm going to send this out,
you're going to get ignored.
But when that nigga ignored, and then fast forward, because Velo Zago, he's a real one, ended up collaborating
on
KZ. So it was like a full circle
moment. Crazy.
So shout out to Ngao, legend. So now, okay, we're talking about actual influences like I'm an artist. Now let's talk albums, because again, you guys have an incredible album out, and like you can hear Wuti, like you sound like, not even sound like, you are seasoned musicians.
Come on now, talk about
like,
it.
Like, Wuti, like sequencing,
talk about it.
ifundwe somewhere. Awumanuvuke nje and just know how to sequence an album, know how to arrange a song. So album wise,
akungadlalwa ngathi SPeeKa kade saba ngenhla. Ngadlalwa nje ngathi.
So which are some of the albums that you guys consider like your holy grail that you know?
Hip hop or outside?
Zonke bonke.
Okay, asishereke le no bafu.
Yeah.
Qale mina.
Sure.
Mcebisi Sithole. Urban Zulu.
Yes.
That is probably the most important album for us.
Yeah.
Because it sets the tone for what we go on to do sonically and blueprint wise.
Yeah.
Right? I think the urban Zuman and the sound that we're doing right now is not even a reinvention of the urban Zulu because but it's just an extension of it. It's just another variation of it, growing from it. When we heard that album, you know, there's a lot of Mcebisi awenzayo. There's works that he does with Umshonishu Usipho Kumete. But that album specifically is so crazy because the sonics alapa, the subject matter that she speaks on and the manner of approach is crazy. I mean, a couple of joints there, Ihlisana umoya ma-Afrika, Sini Zizwe, Uganga ngengane. You know, there's Yapheli Imali Yami. There's, you know, even thinking about it now, the moment we heard that, you know, because we had grown into knowing what we wanted to do, we just couldn't figure out where to go sonically, like where to plant our roots and how. So grassroots level, that album then inspires everything. So Mcebisi Sithole, Urban Zulu, it's actually out now, but it's remastered.
Yeah.
Because I think it premiered last year, the 2024 version. It's now remastered. So go check it out if you are into that, and then it'll probably make sense why we make the music that we make from a sonic standpoint.
Right.
Then I'm gonna veer off. I'm gonna say Ibutho Zola. Trust me. You know, so with the Zola, it's incredible also because you don't notice some of these things when you're young.
Yeah.
Right? You're able to pick them up almost so coolly. You're like, oh, it's Kwame Stile. This ngithatha or this ngithatha.
Yeah.
So what fascinates us also with Uzola is, again, how ambidextrous he is, right? Uzola is like, this nigga, when I first came across, I'm like, this nigga's a thug. This man is still cool. Wow. This nigga, that's the greatest intro ever, right? Of all time for me. When you speak about South Africa, I think about that. I'm like, play that, right? And then the greatest outro, funny enough, there's a part that he does when he stars. I'm like, oh my God, this man. Powerful. Trust me, man. Trust me. You can't fabricate that. So Uzola Ibutho, and for the most part, you know, I know we were fascinated by how, because he, especially, it's a big village, but we predominantly spend our time Orange Farm, Elokshin, right? Yeah. So pretty young, you're able to figure out like, okay, this place does not need me to be soft if I'm gonna survive, right? So I was always, we're always just fascinated by the fact that, okay, this man comes from a place. Zola, I know Zola. Zola is not too different. It's a hood, right? So I understand your Mdlembes, right? Where does he get the bag to do something like Stars or Don't Believe on that level, right? And then in the same, you know, bag, you know, on Ibutho, this man is just, I'm like, oh, this man is just a musical man.
Or the
right?
Ibutho itself.
Yeah. Dog, trust me. So it's that, right? He's so, you're like, okay. I can be manly, I can be masculine, right? But when the moment, you know, demands it, I am able to just like strip down and be vulnerable, those things, right? So I was able to just notice that when we got older. I'm like, oh, it's Kwame Stile started from this guy. Yeah. Right? So it was incredible. So Ibutho, Zola.
And then I think one final one would probably be Mashapu Mamba, the Black Excellence Show. Shout out Mashapu Mamba. There's a joint there called Impendulo Kababa. It's a crazy, go listen, go bump that project. It's actually on Apple Music right now. Waibuyisela. Sikhala ngayo sithi buyisela ama-album ku project wayibuyisele egcineni. So I think
ubafu sekubale konke, you know, and you realize these things musukhulile. Like for example, Uzola, what strikes me the most about that individual is the level of authenticity.
Yep.
You know, it's probably the reason why, even till this day, when I hang around some of the people that I hang around with, because umuntu nje ongathi unama vibe aseceleni ngimbona from good.
Yeah.
Yabo. So when you meet individuals that you feel like are authentic, like I remember the first time I met Mthokozisi, I was like, wow.
Yes.
Give me the mic. Okay, give me the mic. Mthokozisi is like, you know, the first time I ever heard Mthokozisi, first I was jealous because I'm like, this motherfucker's figured it out. He knows who he is. Fuck this nigga. You know? And the reason why also I mention Mthokozisi is because when I really think of Uzola, Mthokozisi is like a breed of Uzola and Pro, just like mixed together. I can't explain it, right? But every time I listen to him, I would think of, I'm like, okay, I understand why I would vibe with Mthokozisi because I love Uzola. But it's what he says, you know, authenticity. You can continue, you know, and the level of the authenticity, you know, it's so glaringly obvious. Personally, right? From the music that he listens to the way that he talks, to his approach, even in his pen, how he lives, you know. Ngeke ungabe inspired ukuphila ngendlela ofanele uphile ngayo in your most authentic self muhlala nabantu abanjalo, right? So Uzola is when it comes to your authenticity, you know, it's the same thing with Mcebisi Sithole. The place where she was doing that was so real, even with Mashaya Bukagamam. And then with Mashaya Bukagamam, I would then speak about the Sonics, right? He played around with Sonics. Incidentally, he's very inspired by Mcebisi Sithole and Mashaya Bukagamam, which is so crazy to us because we didn't know this until we listened to an interview. We're like, okay, it makes sense why we also like him. So sonically also, he then does, you know, crazy, which then influences us. So our influences that we then become, melting pot of all of these people that we've then spoken about. It's okay. You know, you look at Zola, you're like, okay, I see some of it, you know, even though it's not hood, but if, let's say, you then get the sense, Mcebisi Sithole, you know, just listen to the music, you'll get it. And then Mashaya Bukagamam, obviously, yeah.
Got you. That's like the diversity. It makes all this, because when you listen to his sound here, everything that you just mentioned, I hear it. I hear it. And then your process, because again, it'll forever fascinate me that you niggas is from the same home. You know, it's like how are you so equally gifted and from the same household? So like and also does and excuse me for asking, but does like twin telepathy help in you writing your music?
Twin telepathy does not exist. Let's debunk that myth right now. Is that my camera? I sebenzi leyo nto amanga. Right? Twin telepathy does not exist. Mang mshaya lo angizwa pain. So njasisuse leyo nje khona manje. But speaking on lento kaduyisho, ihlukile, like it's incredibly different because Zandile, as you know, he mentioned ekuqaleni, he comes from a poetic background, right? You know, and so I think that influences even the way that he weaves his pen. Like sometimes I look at his pen, I'm like, I see the poet, I'm jealous. I'm like, damn, I should have been in those slam poetry sessions. Because how he you know, he weaves his pen. Mine is more from a hip hop background, like okay, form, cadence, subject matter, you know, themes, okay, degree of difficulty. There's these things, there's certain things that I look at, mangpala, you know, that I take. So it's very different from, you know, I find, and this is why also masbala as we sign my verse until it's time to actually record. Because now when if I get it 4 bars and then he's good, le 16 yam lay work. Or it's a well we kanyana kunale yakhe ngeze siqede ngizothi awume bafa ke ngiyoqinisa.
It's like it's competitive
for sure. So I think that for me now, you know, you first look at okay the theme for the song, and then you look at the technique. Okay, how am I going to approach this? Do I need to? Because ukubezwa abantu umuntu nje ingoma ethi ipholele imnandi inabile avela ngene umuntu ayicavuni ingoma ube like hayibo wenzani mina ngakhuleka hayibo lema phansi relax uyezwa la kupholele yabo. And then there's songs that actually require that sort of thing, you know. So obviously technique becomes very important, cadence, and this is what njengoba besibuke nje in the Sotra Cyphers, I'm like, oh, the cadence was off la.
Oh yeah,
because you can constructively criticize yourself. You're like, okay, I see the bars, I'm not too worried about them. Some cringe worthy now that you looking back, of course. But you know, you're like, okay, there's certain nooks and crannies that I could have fixed here and there. So for me, it's that sort of thing. I don't know with Ubafoge though, how he looks at it. Yeah, it's somewhat similar. So I think we say Kavaril, but for the most part, Spala separately. And mine is influenced by poetry, and I love that also. You know, it's a beautiful bag that I cultivated. You know, I'm proud of it. But for the most part, also, just in as far as the approach, right? So over time, right? There's things like, for instance, if you in like a room and just write, right? The first thing that we would normally just start with now at the moment, right? I'm gonna try and figure out like a dope chorus. I'm going to try and figure out a dope hook. Listen to the beat. Like, okay, right? I write from that standpoint. And then we come through, we record. Before we write any verses, we record. We evaluate the hook. And like, is it strong or did we waste the beat? If you wasted the beat, you delete that entire thing. We start again, right? And then once we're confident about chorus hook, you're like, okay, it's shaping. Then we write the verses, right? And we write them separately now. And then when we come to the studio, we've was seasoned now. So barely do we come back and like change a couple of things, but we come back, firstly some verse, and the songs, you know, the song is just that. I don't know, man, if you want something specific, but that's just how you write, bro. Yeah.
That's deep though. Cause I mean, again, with my ignorant ass brain, I always thought you'll be in one room, you'll be in another room, and you guys will be communicating telepathically.
Wow. I'm glad I exist in Jawaiona telepathy.
Thank you. So another thing that maybe most people are not aware about leverage in this particular instant, Usoso, the first time Sotra Cyphers was ever like mentioned.
Talk on it. Come on, give me my flowers, bro. Yeah, nigga, talk that talk, nigga.
I'm talking.
We've been at it, nigga.
Yep.
Been at it.
Yeah, so this is 2019. There was a show called A Verse of the Month that the GOAT Story used to host, right? So what he would do is he would scour the South African hip-hop landscape looking for the best verses in the country, right? And then at the time, I had just dropped the Sotra Cyphers 3-year anniversary.
Yep.
And the GOAT happened to stumble across it.
Yep.
And in that episode, there are, I don't know, man, like 25 MCs.
Yeah.
And Stoke was like, nah, who the hell is this guy?
Yep.
Talking about Usoso. And it was our first time as the Sotra Cyphers being mentioned in the Verse of the Month
that
countdown.
space.
And he landed on number one. Like,
very important also to mention that number 2 was Proverb.
Number 2 was Proverb. Number 3 was Questa.
Come on.
2 was Proverb. And number 1 was this gentleman over here. All right. So that, I mean, it was an important moment. Obviously, not just for me personally, for the platform.
For all of us, yeah.
Because for me, it was a moment you would, I've been telling you niggas about the niggas that I have on here. I've been telling you, right? So you as on the receiving end of being, you know, told by the GOAT, you would see, hey man, this month, I know. This month, my G.
You know,
how did that feel, dog?
I'm about to tell you a story that only my brother knows.
Yeah.
I think a week before we received those news, we had been speaking. So the thing is with us, we're always in these spaces, né?
Yeah.
And then we get approached by different individuals. So I'm not going to mention any names, but, you know, we were speaking with this individual, right? Very prominent. He's one of the most prominent artists in the country right now and has been for the past like 10 years, right? And we were sending him joints back and forth. He was trying to do his thing. There was something that was brewing there.
Yeah.
I sent him these joints and I'm so happy. We're so proud of them. No, Andile. I need to mention this. We sent him into man SPeeKa. Your joint. Come on, bro. Talk on that. And he doesn't get it, bro.
Yeah.
He doesn't get it. The use of ukusebenzisa man as a pronoun. He doesn't get it. I was hacked, bro. Wow. So I lose the opportunity. And it was a big one, actually, because we knew what was at stake there. And then a week later, SPeeKa hits me. He's like, yo, back up it. Niki WhatsApp number yako. Khona umuntu ozokuthinta lapho. Yabo, lunga. And this person calls me. I'm like, and then I speak to my friend Anzu. And the first thing he says, yeah, kade ngangazi. Kade ngangazi. Yabona ke leyo ngabi gets it. He gets it. Yabo. And reflecting on it now, I realize sometimes, and this is why people always speak about never meeting your heroes, by the way, because if you take people's opinions as God or to heart, over the years I've learned not to take things personally because I've realized that people's opinions are fickle. But at that point in time, ngangingekho right. Ngangibonakala. So when I receive those, I'm like, I'm not overthinking it.
Yes.
And that was crazy. Yeah. That was crazy. I obviously go back. I tell the gents, they're like, yeah, nigga. Hey, of course, it's us.
Come on, son.
Gents, let's acknowledge the moment. We are there. So I think it was pretty great overall, great feeling. And I felt vindicated more than anything. I was like, okay, shoot, it means that
Sure.
Ngoba, a week before, ngangilalento ukuthi mhlambe nje mfethu sithi siyayenza lento but abayiboni. Yabo, so it meant a great deal to me. It's still probably top 3 most sentimental moments of my entire artistic life. Because I've never felt more vindicated. And I told my brother this, I'm like, oh boy.
Mina ngakhala ke. Full disclosure, I was at work. Someone, the text I got was, yo, dog, how do you feel? Like, what are you talking about?
Bro.
Yo, man, Stoke just gave you a shout out. What are you talking about? Go there and check.
Yeah.
I was at work.
Yeah.
Lunch break.
So you go there, you look at the YouTube.
I can't see him coming down my eyes. I'm saying.
And what he says there, dog, is so important because I feel like we don't speak on it enough, because I still can vividly remember, when he says, SPeeKa, one of the guys that is very important to the culture, shout out. I'm like,
he said, I love you, bro. He said that on camera, son.
I'm like, speak on it.
See, pull up. Sure. Yeah, so that man, that was a huge moment, and
definitely, bro.
Obviously, it makes you an important part of this legacy that we're trying to build here.
This little thing of ours,
because it signified a moment where Sotra Cyphers was sort of like a little bit like put out there.
Yeah, with my sister, my
young Todd. So shout out to you for that,
bro.
dog.
Thank you, bro.
So in closing, because obviously like R.E.A, we are the home of the lyricism and the bars and the rapidy raps.
Come
right?
on, speak on it.
So, who would you like to see on the platform that you've either haven't seen before or that you would like with Babuye? You can just look at the camera there and highlight them.
Oh, we've mentioned this. Easy, you need to come back.
Easy.
You gotta.
Yes.
You gotta. Probably for me, Easy and Mthokozisi. Those are the two. I don't rate all these niggas. Mthokozisi, Easy. Those are my guys. Yeah. And then for me, Babili Futu also. Shava, come on.
Please.
Come on now. I feel like people don't get it, and I'm going to speak on it just for a bit. Every conversation that I've had with Ujam has been on hip hop, always. Every time I meet him, I'm like, he's like, oh, he's really ngoma le elapha ngangiphabazita kanje angitshela ukuthi hey bengihlela usibanibani leli bhale la sil decode, which is so crazy because I think people that maybe don't know him in that sense would really think he's cosplaying being a head.
He's ahead. Anzo was telling me a story that they were hotboxing while 11 ebusuku eBramfontein. He found them lapha eBramfontein yena noStilo hotboxing in the car, sharing. I'm like, oh Jama, benzani ngo-11 ebusuku in. So he is a man.
Oh, when I first dropped the Emphatic Tabs exclusive.
Yeah.
On Twitter, minding my own business, I get a DM from Java. He's
crazy.
Like, where did you find? Oh, he's like, yo, shout out to you. I can't believe you found like
crazy.
I was like, wait, Java?
Yep.
Emphatic Tabs?
Yep.
So he's definitely ahead.
Definitely ahead. So Java, definitely come to the show.
Please.
Also, Uzage also, it's long overdue also. OG, come on, do the thing. So yeah.
Come on. Gentlemen. Thank you. Nizwele, please hit the calls, please. All right, so yeah, just to wrap it up, Bafetu.
Yeah.
Leverage, appreciate you guys always, man. The album is out.
The mixtape, very important to mention this. Mixtape, we don't have an album out. I was having a conversation with one of my, I call her a mentor, Unothando Mikoko. She was like, don't care that you don't call it a mixtape. It's an album to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, sis, it's a mixtape. It still is and will forever be a mixtape.
Yeah.
But it's out. The deluxe is out. We added like 4 joints on it. The touchline is on one of the joints. On a Father Tech is also on that deluxe. So we're very happy about that. It's done well. It's clocked over 500k streams independently. No playlist additions, nothing. Just pure love from the streets.
Yeah.
It charted on Apple Music. Imagine us just charting on it. I was so happy about that thing because it was just pure love from the streets. Like we weren't, we distribute independently, so we don't have anyone that's doing a playlist or editorials for us. So I knew that when because it landed at like 70, not even at 90 something. It landed at 70. I was like, yeah, people on Apple Music, I see my people. Nonke labe nama iPhone lapho nginivumile. Ay, angijabule bantu.
That's fine.
Yeah, so the project is out. We're planning to actually drop an EP this year. It's probably not gonna happen. But I want to drop like gang music also. So people should just expect that and keep streaming in Temple Mafana.
Yes. Gentlemen, an honor and a privilege always. My if you're gonna leverage, if you can hear, please come back and rap there on the show, man.
Come on.
Yeah, but with that, this has been another dope one for Under the Influence podcast. Let's do it again, Sning Ning, with another super dope lyricist. Now I'm saying,